Let's be honest, finding the right care for an aging parent, it's one of the toughest decisions you'll ever have to make. It's a journey that's just filled with questions about trust and compassion. So today, we're going to take a look at one company in Tucson, A+ Elder Care Assistance, and see how a really personal story can totally change what elder care even means. So the founders of A+ Elder Care, Bob and Jan Taplin, have this really interesting, kind of unusual phrase that's at the heart of everything they do. We are in the sandwich generation, but we have no bread. Now, it might not make a lot of sense at first, but trust me, getting what this quote means is the key to understanding their entire approach to care.
Okay, so what in the world does that actually mean for a family that's looking for help? Well, it turns out that this idea of having no bread comes from a deeply personal story of loss and purpose. It's a story that now shapes every single thing their business does.
To really get this company, you have to start with the people behind it. For the founders, Bob and Jan, this is not just a business. Not at all. It's the result of some profound personal experiences, and that's given them a perspective that, frankly, a lot of people in the industry just don't have.
And, well, this timeline, it really shows a journey that nobody ever wants to go through. Over the course of 17 years, both Jan and Bob lost their parents. They lived through the challenges of cancer, lymphoma, and end-of-life care firsthand. This wasn't some abstract concept for them, it was their life. And then, just 5 years after losing their last parent, they founded A+ Elder Care.
And this is where that quote about no bread finally clicks. See, they're part of the sandwich generation in terms of their age, but because they have no living parents of their own to care for, and they don't have grandchildren, they have no bread. And what that really means is their time, their focus, and their emotional energy can be completely and totally dedicated to their clients, to caring for other people's parents.
Okay, so you have this incredibly powerful why. How does that actually show up in what they do? You can see how their own personal experiences directly shaped the services they decided to offer, services that were specifically designed to fill the gaps that they ran into themselves.
They've built their whole support system on what they call 3 pillars. First, it starts with top-notch, compassionate in-home caregivers. Then, for people who might not need help every day, there's this really unique emergency plan for when a crisis hits. And finally, they have a signature service that they call the Life Tour Guide.
That last one, the Life Tour Guide, probably caught your ear. So what is it exactly? Well, it's their answer to just how overwhelming and complicated the healthcare system can be. Imagine having a personal navigator who's right there with you, going to appointments, taking notes, and helping coordinate every aspect of your care. It's like combining a professional guide with a life coach to be a dedicated advocate for the patient.
So we've seen their why and their what. But you know, the real difference often comes down to the how, the day-to-day policies and methods that have a direct impact on families. And this is where their personal mission really shines through.
Just look at this comparison. On one side, you have the typical agency rules. A lot of them require minimum weekly hours. A+, they have none. They also got rid of non-compete clauses, which means families don't get penalized if they want to hire a caregiver directly. They even have a lower holiday rate than the industry standard. And it doesn't stop there. This whole client-first idea runs through everything they do. You get to meet and interview your caregiver before they ever start to make sure it's a good fit. They give you the contract with absolutely no pressure to sign on the spot, and there are no hidden fees. It all points to a business built on trust, with the owners, Bob and Jan, personally involved every step of the way. Now, compassion is absolutely crucial, right? But it's got to be backed up by real-world expertise to truly be effective. So let's take a look at the professional qualifications that give their compassionate approach its foundation and give families some real peace of mind.
And when you look at the leadership team, you can see how their skills just fit together perfectly. You've got Jan, who brings this deep medical and social work knowledge. She's a doctor of chiropractic and has a degree in social work. And then you have Bob, who provides the operational backbone with tons of experience in customer service and management. It's that perfect blend of clinical know-how and practical execution. Jan's medical background is, well, it's a really big deal for families. This is just a sample of the conditions she has direct experience with, from really tough neurological diseases like Alzheimer's, ALS, and Parkinson's, all the way to post-stroke recovery and hospice care. For a family navigating one of these complex diagnoses, having that level of knowledge on your side is just invaluable.
So when you put it all together, their personal story, their client-first policies, their deep expertise, it all leads back to their core mission. And as you can see here, the goal isn't just about checking tasks off a list.
It's about providing truly personalized support that considers a person's complete well-being, their physical, cognitive, and emotional needs.
So what we're really seeing here is that this isn't just another business. There's this incredible thread connecting everything, from their own personal losses all the way to their business policies. It's pretty clear this is presented as the fulfillment of a life's work, one that was born directly from their own experiences.
And that really leaves us with a final question to think about. In an industry that is so often about scale and checklists and standardized procedures, what's the real value of a service that's rooted in a personal, lived experience? It's a question that's definitely worth considering when we think about what we want the future of care to look like.